Hey y'all, Ramdino here. Well, I am at the airport and I am getting ready to go on my Massachusetts slash from North Adams to Connecticut state border. So pre-check's the way to go. TSA pre-check is the way to go. So time I got out of the car through pre-check, it could have been at the gate in 5 minutes, maybe 7. So I would highly recommend that. Of course, at bigger airports, I know it's going to be worse. Charlotte, I think, is maybe the 6th busiest, but in any case, wherever you're going, when I went out to Yellowstone this winter, pre-check got us through, and take other folks 45 minutes, we get through in 10 or 15. So it's well worth it. You don't have to take your shoes off or all that crap. So undressed, take your belt off, all that neat stuff. So, all right. Plane's on time, going to be boarding and heading on up, and looking forward to seeing retread again and getting in the shuttle and heading on up, getting on trail today, and then heading SOBO over Greylock, and we'll go from there. All right, folks, we will see you on the trail. All right, so I am now in North Adams, Massachusetts with here my bestest buddy, Trail Angel, for the day anyway, because he picked me up at the airport. This is Retread, and y'all have met him before when Come Along and I did Vermont, and it was Vermont this year. So this year I'm doing Massachusetts mud, it looks like. But I'm excited to get started, and we're getting ready to head SOBO now, and we are Connecticut bound. So Retread, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Thanks for picking me up once again and just being there for us once again, and appreciate you making it happen for me.
Anytime.
All right, here we go. All right, this is what the trail looks like at the very beginning of my hike here. So I'm going through North Adams. You can see the over there on the poles, you can see the white blazes. So hopefully I don't miss when those things peter out and going into the woods. But that mountain in front of you, that is where I'm heading. Already seen the tower at Mount Greylock, so I'm excited about getting up there. And I'm going to slack pack this first part, probably about 8 miles. Retread's going to meet me up there with my pack at Balcom Lodge, and then we will be SOBO with full pack for the rest of the time. All right, we will Charlie Mike and see you up trail. All right, 20-minute check-in. So I just crossed over my first road crossing. I think I'm at some type of municipal plant, water treatment plant or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, so this is kind of the trail conditions. A little bit of mud, but nothing outstanding. And there are places where it looks like mulch, somebody spread mulch. Of course, that's just leaf litter that's come down the trail, but there's a lot of that you can walk through and not get muddy or walk around it. So mud has not been an issue so far. I do want to give a shout out to a Trail Angel. So I came up here on some Trail Magic here, and basically that is a water cache. So I meant to, trying to cover his name up or his number up there. I don't want to, I know the AT watches my videos, and so I don't want them, they have a problem with water caches, and somebody's actually going around and destroying water caches or pulling them, and they mean a lot to the hikers. So I wanted to I'll try to blur this out in the final editing. But anyway, see, that guy's name I think was Dave Ackerson. Is that right? Yeah, Dave Ackerson does shuttles also. So thanks, Dave. Appreciate you looking out for the hikers out here. That's great to have the water caches there. There's actually some pretty good flowing water down here, and it's nice to have that. So Mount Greylock, 5.6 miles. It's nice to have that when the water's not flowing as well. Of course, plenty of water source here, but that also prevents people from having to filter their water. They just get that nice clean water quick in and out. It's good for SOBOs, but you just came through town, so but there's not a store close by where you come through town. So if there's some water cache or something there, I'd go ahead and grab it. No bar SOBO, else you'll have to walk a little bit or maybe borrow some off somebody's spigot on the side of their house. But anyway, trail's looking good. Only been a slight incline, nothing like Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia yet. And so we're good to go. Be forewarned, loud gunshots heard from rifle range, okay? I'm good with loud as long as it's not projectiles whizzing by my head. All right, and I see in Massachusetts on bog boards, they don't believe in hardware cloth either. So down in North Carolina and the southern states, we have a good supply of hardware cloth that they put on a bog board or expanded metal, and that way it gives you a little firm grip. Those things are really slick, so you got to be careful, particularly in this Massachusetts, New England mud they got up here. It's like owl snot on a hot tin roof. All right, we are continuing on up trail. All right, so that sign says Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Forest Boundary. I don't know which way it runs, if it runs that way or that way, but the trail runs that way and then goes around it. But here's the really interesting thing that I found coming up this trail. There is a sign that says public water supply, no trespassing. So if it's public, then who's supposed to use it if it says no trespassing? It's public, but the public can't go there. That don't make sense. Morning. Morning. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. So my theory, of course, is it's a water treatment plant, and that's some type of wash down into it where they collect it. But still, one of them signs that makes you go, All right, so I've gotten into the part of the ascent where it's so steep they got switchbacks, and I am so grateful Massachusetts knows what a switchback is, because there's some states, some places of the trail that don't. But as you can see, I'm no longer at the base of the mountain. I am very much heading uphill to the highest peak in Massachusetts, Mount Greylock, which incidentally is, I think, 3587, something like that, as opposed to places down south where we're at 4 or 5, even 6 through the Rhone. So shouldn't be too bad. Looks steep though. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm on a flat. Couldn't resist making a comment about that last video. So hopefully you caught that trail runner coming downhill while I'm going uphill. So again, like I've said in my videos before, where's trail etiquette? Right away to the guy coming up the hill. This guy was coming down so fast, I wouldn't have filmed him if I'd known he was coming down. So he's got to be able to see me. I was talking on film. Give me a hooty hoo or something, and I'll stop filming and get out of your way. But still, etiquette is I had the right of way, and since this is a National Park Service corridor, a whole ET is, he is supposed to have his dog leashed. I don't think he did. I'll go back and check the video. If he did, I'll back off that. But anyway, not griping, not complaining. Didn't ruin my day by just pointing it out for you folks out there that don't know any better. Trail etiquette is uphill person has the right of way, because the downhill person has a gravity assist. The uphill person obviously does not. Whatever the opposite of assist is, I guess encumbrance. The uphill person has a gravity encumbrance. And I'm not a fan of dogs on the trail, but as long as they don't bite me, snarl at me, snap at me, move out of my AO quickly, I'm fine with that. But anyway, sorry for the rant. Leave a comment down in the description if you think I'm way off base or if you think I'm spot on. Alrighty, let's keep on rolling. So just met Doodles, left March 15th, 15, 16, 17, something like that, from Springer, and he's no buff. So chatted with him a little bit, and nice to meet him, get a little bit of intel on how the trail is south of me. And he was by himself, which he's apparently hiked most of it by himself, and the reason being he gave was that he doesn't like to kind of be tied to somebody else's pace. So he was young. I mean, you know, I'd say high school, but he's probably in his 20s. Might have been graduated from college and on a gap year, but that's enough. That's why I'm breathing. So anyway, he's hiking by himself, and that's the way he liked it. He could set his own plans, so makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of the same way. I have to, I like hiking at my own pace. Of course, I've never done the thru hike, so most of mine have been weekend trips and lashes. So other than Come Along, who, while we meet up at the end of the day, he's always way outpacing me. So I typically hike by myself too. All right, on the Gray Lock. All right, classic example of the AT picking the most arduous route. So, right here's the trail, and it goes straight up through the center of that rock pile, straight up, 45-degree angle. They could have gone that way or that way, put a few switchbacks in it, but nah, let's go right over the top. Temperature out here is in the, actually not bad. It's in the low to mid 80s. Humidity, of course, after all this rain is freaking nuts. So, I mean, it's like being in a sauna. So, it's, I don't know, 95, probably heat index. But I didn't get very far, and I took my outer shirt off. I didn't get out of sight of the truck. So, and I'm getting ready to come out of these zip-off pants too. Oh boy, that breeze feels good. I think I'll sit here and enjoy that before I go up through that rock pile. Hey, I got a feeling we're coming into a vista. I hope it is a good one. There's supposed to be a good one on the way up here to Mount Greylock. Looks like it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. There is the town of North Adams. And that's where I come from. Hey there, how you doing?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Good.
Yeah, pull up a rock, enjoy this view. And the breeze. All right, so here's almost got stymied. So you come to this outlook over here over Mount, look over to North Adams, and you go that way, which is the Mo Money Trail. Okay, that is a Blue Blaze trail, so you got to come back over here. And fortunately, had gut hooks and saw the Blue Blazes, and totally missed this right here. So Bottom Lodge 3.2. That is where I'm getting my heavy pack for the day. Lean to half a mile. We'll see what that looks like. So be careful when you come up there, or you will hit the wrong trail. All right, so this is Mount Williams at 2,953 Looks like this overlook is pretty much grown in. So you're not going to get much of anything here. But you can get a breeze, and that's kind of nice. So here is one thing that my mind keeps getting a little confused about is you have AT North and then you have AT South. Well, I typically go NOBO on my hikes, and at one point in time in my hiking career I only went NOBO, but then it was a particular section, I don't remember where it was. I think it was a section from Hughes Gap into Irwin maybe, and I decided, looking at the profile, it was just going to be easier to go SOBO, and so I broke that NOBO chain and went SOBO, and well, ever since then SOBO don't bother me. Shouldn't bother me in the beginning, but anyway, I'm kind of ADD, actually ODD. But anyway, so when I look at that and go 18 North, my mind wants to go that direction, go the way of the north pointing area. But I know that I'm doing a SOBO, so I'm hiking south. So I've got to follow the south areas. But anyway, maybe sometime today that'll click in my mind, and I'll stop having to sit there and go, which direction? It'll become natural. All right. It looks like I'm, I don't know, 2 miles away from Greylock. Started at 20 after 1, 15 after 1. It's now like 3:30ish. So I think it was 6 miles from North Adams. So you do the math, not that it matters. But this climb up has been relatively, as I pick my way through the mud, relatively a butt kicker. Punctuated by a few of these like this. It's not so bad. Hence I'm not breathing so hard when I'm chatting with you. But been pretty, but there are parts of it where I started feeling overheated. I don't have any of my electrolytes with me because they're in my heavy pack and I'm slack packing, so I am looking forward to getting me some of those element electrolytes in me to because I'm sweating like a trout at a fish fry, and I need to replenish what I've lost. So there you go. All right, we're gonna keep on hiking SOBO. All right, so up there is the War Memorial, and this is Thunderbolt Ski Hut. So CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, built this, and it was built to facilitate people that were skiing, and it was that would walk up here with their skis like 2 hours, and then get warm in here. It's called a warming hut, and presumably there's places they could go to sleep, and they would ski back down for they'd walk up for 2 hours for a 20-minute run, and it's like a 35-degree angle, a lot of it. So, but anyway, this is it. I don't know if these are even accessible. Now it looks like they've got them welded shut here, so you're not going to be able to get in there. You can't have a fire in there anymore. But pretty neat. They don't want you camping here. It says emergency overnight only. So I guess if it was raining cats and dogs and I deemed it an emergency, it would be an emergency. And it's named after a guy that was in the 10th Mountain Division ski troop there from World War II in northern Italy that was killed in action. Rudolph Rudy Kazizny? I can't say that. Anyway, pretty cool, pretty cool. And retread should be somewhere around here. So we'll go find him and then go up to the war memorial up there, that great phallic symbol on top of the hill, and then we'll say our goodbyes and get down trail. But let's go find him first. Welcome Lodge, also built by the CCC. Stone and shakes for shingles, and they don't cut the grass here because they want to keep it available for pollinators. Now, as a beekeeper, I think that's pretty cool, but is that really because they just don't want to cut the grass? That's the cynic in me. All right, let me find retread. All right, I am going to say goodbye to the lodge. Welcome Lodge here. Looks like we got weather moving in behind me. That is the direction I'm going. Yick. And goodbye to the Great War Memorial phallic symbol on Mount Greylock. I'm going to be disappearing into the woods. All right. We'll see if I make it to the shelter before the bottom falls out. Okay, one of the things you need to do is pay attention to the signage. See this hill here? See that trail there? Disappears around the corner. It's all blue blaze. All wasted miles. Now I'm backtracking to get back to the AT. So somewhere coming out of Mount Greylock, I got screwed up. So now I'm walking back to find where the AT deviates from whatever the freak this is. But, and I just put on my heavy pack. So obviously wasted effort, no fun, particularly when it looks like the bottom's about to drop out. But such as making mistakes. I made about 3 of these today. Hopefully I'll stop it before I get to freaking Connecticut, or I won't ever get there. Not by the AT. All right, let me put this away. All right, I figured it out. After you know what, busting time. So I saw that straight and I went that way. Didn't even see this little bitty trail here or that blaze that I just now spotted. So let me try this again. We're doing it again. So just come across racehorse. So I've run into about 6 SOBO so far. They're heading up to the lodge and stay there. So that would have been a good, really good place to stay. I saw in OG's video, looked like a pretty nice place to stay, and particularly see the tower lit up at night, and maybe see a sunrise in the morning. That would have been pretty cool. But anyway, not gonna happen. I'll be deep in the woods here at the shelter. But interesting to see everybody I've asked so far, they say the shelter crowding's not bad, so that's good. Hopefully that'll be, won't have to set up on this wet stuff. There's no, they had so much rain, they've got, he said, decent tent pads, but you know, pads are still going to be in wet clay, so I'd be packing up wet tomorrow morning. But so I'll try the shelter at night as long as it's not too crowded. All right, let me get on. All right, this will probably be the last video till I do a closing one tonight, if I remember it. You see how dark it's getting back in here. I don't know if you can tell that on the camera or not, but it's hard to see. Start getting pretty hard to see. I don't know if I had a flashlight out, I could see. Plus it's so muggy, my glasses are fogged over, and I'm deep in the woods, and it's overcast. And I did not think about the fact that I'm a whole lot further north, so it gets darker like an hour, 2 hours. I need to look that up sooner than it does back home. So I think it's like 6:30 or 7 Now I have to go back and I'll put that down here, what time it is, but it ain't anywhere close to 9. And back home, it don't get dark till 9. I mean, my chicken door don't shut till around 9:30 or 10 when the light gets to where it'll shut. So didn't even think about that. So I may have to, of course, my mileage is going to be, shouldn't be having any more of these where I'm bumping up against dusk like this for the rest of the trip. All right, this is getting really, really rugged through here, so let me go. All right, today was a 8.8 mile day. So started North Adams, and we're here at the Noepel, I think that's how you say it. Some Indian name probably. Shelter site. So couple tenting platforms here, and then there's some tent pads, which is basically a semi-level place in the dirt. The shelter, great water source, 200 feet away. It's got bunks for 4 down below and a loft where you could probably get 4 in a pinch, definitely 2, 3. So that's how the day went. Tomorrow we will make it to Dalton, which is 15-ish away, and probably keep going to outside of Dalton. There's a shelter there, 3 miles. So I was going to stay at Tom Lafarge's, I think that's his name, in his backyard. He's a trail angel, lets people stay in their backyard, but there's no place to go to the bathroom there. So I have a morning constitutional that has a regular schedule, and there's a gas station up the road apparently. Well, sometimes my constitutional ain't waiting to walk 1/10 of a mile up to the gas station. So probably just going to go to the shelter where there's a privy, and my constitutional will wait for that. But anyway, otherwise Tom would have a cat hole in his backyard, and he would not appreciate that, I'm sure. So that is probably what's going to happen. Go through Chester tomorrow, probably, I think it's just a few miles away, get breakfast, what I don't get here, and probably eat dinner in Dalton. Although I really need to be eating on the trail and eating my way through my bag because it's heavy. As usual, I packed my fears and brought way too much food now, and I got another food box waiting on me when I get to Upper Goose Pond. Anyway, that is day 1 in the books, and I'm looking forward to day 2. Day 2 is supposed to be a pretty day with weather, and then after that, the bottom falls out. Hopefully that's going to improve. All right, y'all, as always, appreciate you, and I hope to see you out here.